Welcome back to the Docker and Kubernetes How-To series. In episode 3, we're tackling something that turns a local experiment into something real, pushing your image to a registry. Right now, that image is trapped on your laptop, but by the end of this video, you'll have it tagged, logged in, pushed, and ready for anyone, a teammate, a server, or a Kubernetes cluster to pull and run. So let's start with the obvious question. Why bother pushing at all? When you run Docker build, that image lives in exactly one place, your laptop. Your teammates can't grab it, your servers can't run it, and Kubernetes has no way to pull it. That's where a registry comes in. Think of it as a warehouse for images. You push yours up once, and from then on, anyone with access can pull it down. Push once, pull anywhere. That's the whole idea. Before we push anything, let's get the vocabulary straight, because these three words get mixed up all the time. The registry is the host, the warehouse itself, like Docker Hub, GitHub's GHCR, or AWS ECR. Inside that warehouse, a repository is one specific image's home, usually named after you and your app. And the tag is just a version label, like 1.0 or latest. Put them together and you get the full address, docker.io/yourname/myapp:1.0 registry repository tag. Now that the vocabulary makes sense, the first real decision is which warehouse to use. Docker Hub is the default and the easiest place to start, so that's what we'll roll with. But honestly, GitHub's GHCR keeps your images right next to your code. The cloud options like ECR, GCR, and ACR fit naturally if you're already on AWS, Google, or Azure, and you can always self-host your own. The good news? The workflow is essentially identical. Pick one, and the rest of this tutorial applies. With our warehouse picked, step 2 is simply telling Docker who you are. Run Docker login, enter your username, and when it asks for a password, don't use your actual password. Generate an access token from your registry's settings instead. It's scoped, revocable, and far safer if it ever leaks. Docker caches that token locally. So this is a one-time thing. Every push from here on just works. And if you went with GHCR or another registry, just append the host name, docker login ghcr.io. Now that we're logged in, step 3 is giving our image a name the registry actually recognizes. Right now, my app 1.0 only exists on your laptop. Docker has no idea which warehouse it belongs to. So we run docker tag, pointing the local name at a new one that includes your registry username and repo. Tagging doesn't duplicate anything. It's just a second label on the same image, and a quick habit worth picking up. Tag both a specific version and latest so teammates can pull either. If you want to skip this entirely, just bake the full name into your Docker build T from the start. With the tag in place, step 4 is the moment of truth, Docker push. Watch the output closely. Docker uploads each layer separately, and you'll see lines like layer already exists whenever the registry recognizes something it's seen before, like a common base image. Only your new app layer actually travels over the wire, which is why pushes get dramatically faster after the first one. Once that final digest prints, your image is officially live, no longer trapped on your laptop, ready to be pulled from anywhere. And now we collect on that promise. Hop onto any other machine with Docker installed, a production server, a colleague's laptop, a CI runner, and run Docker pull, followed by the same name and tag. Then Docker run, map a port, and you're live. The exact bytes you tested locally are now serving traffic on the server. No rebuild. No, works on my machine. And as we'll see in episode 4, Kubernetes pulls images the very same way. So let's zoom out and see the whole flow on one screen. 5 commands carry your image from your laptop into the world. Build to create it, login to authenticate with the registry, tag to give it a proper address, push to upload it, and pull to bring it down anywhere else. The first 4 happen on your machine. The last one happens everywhere else, on servers, in CI, inside Kubernetes. That's the deploy backbone, and once you internalize it, everything else is just detail. Before we actually push anything, There's one decision worth pausing on. Should your repository be public or private? A public repo is open to the whole internet. Anyone can pull it, which is perfect for open source, but it also means you must never push images that contain secrets, internal source, or licensed code. A private repo flips that around. Only the people and machines you authorize can pull, and they'll need to Docker login first. For company workloads, private is almost always the right default. Once your repo is sorted, the next decision is how you tag what goes into it. A version tag like 1.4.2 gives you repeatable deploys. Pull that tag a year from now and you get the same image. Latest is tempting, but it quietly shifts under you, so it's best kept for local tinkering. A GHCR tag is the most traceable of all. You know exactly which commit is running in production. And whatever scheme you pick, treat published tags as immutable. Never overwrite, always push a new one. Since we're on the topic of tags, let's pause and look at the traps people fall into when pushing. Shipping, latest to production, is the classic one. It drifts silently, and nobody can tell what's actually running. Baking secrets into the image is another. Anything in those layers travels with it, so keep credentials out and inject them at runtime. Log in with a scoped revocable token rather than your account password, and before you hit push, double-check the repository isn't public. That's how company code ends up on the open internet by accident. Now, once you've got the manual flow down, the honest truth is you'll rarely run Docker push from your laptop again. In real teams, a CI pipeline does it for you. Every commit triggers a build. The image gets tagged with the git SHA so you can trace exactly which code is running, and the push uses a token stored safely in CI secrets. Same steps we just learned, just hands-off and fully auditable. So let's pull the thread together. A registry is that shared warehouse. You push once and anyone, anywhere can pull. The flow is always the same 3 beats. Log in with a token. Tag your image as registry/repository:/tag, then push. From there, the same image runs identically on a teammate's laptop, a staging box, or a Kubernetes cluster. Just remember the guardrails. Pin your versions and keep your secrets and private repos locked down. If you only remember one thing from this whole series, let it be this. A registry is a shipping warehouse for your app. You build the box, you slap a label on it, and you ship it off. And now anyone with the address can have an identical copy delivered to them. That's the difference between an image trapped on one laptop and an image your servers, your CI, and your clusters can all pull on demand. And once you see the registry as that warehouse, the rest of this series clicks into place. Episode 1, Dockerize, is what builds the box you push here. Compose from Episode 2 can pull those images by name to spin up your stack. Kubernetes, coming in Episode 4, pulls straight from the registry to run its pods. And CI/CD ties it all together by building and pushing on every commit. So every deploy target, no matter where it lives, starts its journey right here. So here's where we are in the bigger picture. You've Dockerized an app, you've orchestrated it locally with Compose, and now with this episode, your image is no longer trapped on your laptop. It's sitting in a registry, ready to be pulled by anyone or anything with the right access. That's exactly the door Episode 4 walks through, deploying to Kubernetes. Because a cluster can only run images, it can actually pull. And now yours qualifies. If you want to keep going from here, I've put together a couple of paths. On the Infra Explained side, there are short reads covering Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD, Bio, and containers, and the basics of cluster security, good for filling in any gaps. And if you're ready to take these pushed images and actually run them safely on a real cluster, the Kubernetes hardening course over at dargslan.com/courses picks up exactly where this episode leaves off. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which registry are you actually pushing to these days? Docker Hub, GitHub's GHCR, one of the cloud ones like ECR, GCR, or ACR, or something self-hosted. And just as interesting, how are you tagging? Semantic versions, GitSHAs, or are you still living dangerously without latest? Drop it in the comments. I read them all. And that's it. Your image is off your laptop and sitting safely in the registry, ready to be pulled anywhere. A teammate's machine, a CI runner, a production server, or a Kubernetes cluster. Speaking of which, that's exactly where we're headed next in the series, so hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you want to go really deep, check out the full Kubernetes course over at dargslan.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.